from CBS 4 News, this is Facing South Florida with Jim DeFede.
Good morning, I'm Jim DeFede and welcome to Facing South Florida. Happy Mother's Day to everyone, but especially to my mom, Joanne. Ah, look at her, holding me as a child. What a lovely picture. And then here she is last fall, for some reason, wearing a turkey on her head. I love you, Ma. Have a happy Mother's Day. Okay then, earlier this week, Crist announced he was running for governor as a Democrat. Crist was elected governor as a Republican in 2006, ran for the United States Senate in 2010 as an independent and lost to Marco Rubio, and then ran for governor as a Democrat against Rick Scott in 2014 and lost that race. Since 2016, he has served in Congress as a Democrat, representing the St. Petersburg area. After his announcement, we sat down for his first South Florida interview. This state seems to be moving more to the right. Donald Trump won this state easily. Are you out of step with Florida? Is Florida a more conservative red state than it was when you were running in the past?
No, I think Florida's just as compassionate as she always has been. And I think that the people of our state are good people, good, decent people. They want to have health care for the poor in our state. They want to make sure that our children, whether they go to an expensive private school or a decent public school, that they get a great education so that they can be successful in their own life. I believe that they all want to protect our beautiful beaches and therefore our economy. You know, most people really do want the same thing. Sometimes it's just a matter of style, and sometimes it's a matter of good ideas and communicating with them effectively.
Then how do you explain Donald Trump's victory in the state in 2020?
Well, I guess more people on that day decided they wanted to vote for him.
Do you see this as a race that's a referendum on Ron DeSantis?
Well, we'll find out. You know, I think that what he's done is not really in touch with Floridians. You know, the guy barely won. Let's not forget that. He won by 0.4%, of 1%, which is remarkable when you think about it. So, you know, this guy didn't get a mandate. I mean, look what happened to Adam Putnam. The guy was going to be the nominee for the Republicans. Donald Trump comes in, gives his stamp of approval to DeSantis, and he becomes the nominee out of nowhere, and then won a very, very close election that went days into having to recount and make sure that it was what it was. So, you know, listen, this is a state that cares about people, that wants leaders who have a heart and will do what is right and not dole out vaccines to their wealthy white friends in neighborhoods that support you with fat campaign checks. I mean, I don't know how to say it. It's crazy.
You've talked a lot about some of the decisions that Governor Ron DeSantis has made. Let me talk about one as it relates to COVID and see if you think the governor deserves some credit for this. He advocated and shut down nursing homes and ALFs early. This was something that he did that other states, other governors, such as in New York and in California, did not do. And as a result, we did not see the high death tolls among folks in nursing homes and ALFs that other states did. Does he not deserve credit? Was the governor not right in what he did there?
Let's look at the overall picture. If we're going to talk about the COVID thing, let's talk about the COVID thing. How many Floridians have died? I think your viewers probably know it's now over 36,000 of our fellow Floridians are dead because of this pandemic. And that's horrific, and it's sad, and it's tragic. We have one of the highest rates of people that have been, you know, infected with this disease. It's terrible. And, you know, he goes around the state, and Jim, I know he's doing this. He's pounding his chest and saying what a great thing I've done. I've opened everything and everything is good. Ask one of the members of those families, of those 36,000 Floridians that aren't with us anymore. And as I said yesterday when we opened, you know, what if the governor would have led and said, you know, you need to have a plan to be ready for this thing? He never did. I mean, it was, you know, every day it was a shifting move one way or the other. He never said it's the right thing for everybody to wear a mask. That never really happened. He didn't advocate social distancing.
But do you give him credit on his handling of the nursing homes and the ALFs? Do you think that he was right on that decision?
Maybe so. Maybe so. I mean, you know, it's good to get a couple of things right, but it's better to do more right.
He wants to frame this election as being, you know, he's going to run against you, claiming that you want to shut things down, you want to close businesses, and that he's the guy who opened them up and allowed them to reopen. How do you cast that race then?
I think you have to hit the sweet spot on decisions like this. You have to do what's right. And it's not, you know, opening everything up, and it's not closing everything down. It's somewhere in the middle with good science giving you direction, relying on people that are healthcare professionals, telling you what is the right thing to do. It's not black or white. It's a little more complicated than that. And so, I don't think it's important that you decide you're going to open everything up or close everything down. You got to do what's right and being guided by scientists and people who know what they're telling you to do. And that's probably somewhere in the middle.
If you are elected governor, you will likely still have a very Republican state House and a very Republican state Senate, which means they will pass bills that will land on your desk, very similar to the types of bills that we saw passed, in this current session. So let me ask you, if you were governor today and the transgender ban bill hit your desk, what would you do to it?
Veto it. Are you kidding me? That is so cruel to children who just want to participate in sports. I mean, I can't believe that's something they think is important enough to put in through the Florida House, the Florida Senate, to the governor's desk. And I guess he said he's going to sign it. That's unconscionable to me. I mean, really, that's what they're focused on? Are you kidding me? We're talking about people's personal lives. They're supposed to be the party that's supposed to get out of your personal lives and let you live free. They're doing exactly the opposite. They're almost like the anti-democracy party, making it harder to vote, suppressing the vote with the mail-in ballot thing they're trying to do, getting people away from their constitution by making it harder if you amend it. And even if you do amend it, they'll ignore you. What happened to of the people, by the people, for the people? They're not the party for the people. They're not fighting for us. They're ignoring the people.
All right, so you answered already the second one, which was the voting bill. You would veto that one as well. Let me ask you about House Bill 1, which some have dubbed an anti-riot bill. The governor says it's necessary. Would you have vetoed HB 1 if you were governor right now?
Yeah, of course. I believe in free speech. It's the First Amendment. It's what gives you the right to ask important, good questions to people like me and the governor himself. Free speech, peaceful protest are sacred parts of our American history and American democracy. Not letting people express themselves is exactly the opposite. Like I said, it's anti-democracy to me.
When you were governor, you supported capital punishment. What's your position on capital punishment now, and would you maintain capital punishment? Would you sign death sentences if you were reelected?
I would, but I got to tell you, Jim, people have asked me, what's the most difficult thing about being governor of the state of Florida? And I tell them signing those death warrants. It's not a pleasant experience. It's not something that's fun to do. It's the most serious thing you can do as a governor. And the only way it was tolerable for me to do it, who believes in it, was to put the pictures of the victims on my desk in the governor's office, the time it was for that to actually happen. Not fun, not easy, important. And I would do it, but I would do it very respectfully and not a lot.
Do you believe that the death sentences disproportionately affect and go against African Americans? And if so, then why would you be willing to take part in a system that disproportionately affects African Americans?
Well, I believe that it does. Historically, it has been shown to do so. But if I'm governor again, that won't be the case in Florida.
Well, how can you guarantee that?
Because I'm the guy who signs it.
So I guess I'm trying to understand mechanically how that would work. So are there cases, have you followed any specific cases here in Florida where there were death sentences signed, executions carried out that you think were wrong?
I'm sure there probably have been. I can't cite one to you today. I'd be happy to look at it, but I'm sure that's probably happened, and that's tragic and sad.
So let's talk about, you mentioned it earlier, the Medicaid expansion. 800,000 Floridians could potentially be helped with the expansion of Medicaid by taking the federal dollars. This is something that the Florida legislature and the governor have passed on for years. What could you do as governor that would be able to bring that about? Can you unilaterally start accepting that money, or you have to still work through the legislature, I would assume, to accept those dollars, wouldn't you?
I think you try to take it unilaterally first by executive order. I think that's fully appropriate. Obviously, the people of Florida need it. I mean, it's unconscionable to me, Jim. I remember going to an opening of an office in Miami when I had run for governor previously, and one gentleman was there in a wheelchair. And I went up to him after the event was over, and I just got on my knee and I said, I'm just curious why you're here. He said, I'm here to support you to win because I know you'll support expanding Medicaid in our state. That means I'm going to get health care if you happen to win this election. I have not forgotten that, and I will not forget that young man. And it's important that we do that. So if it's by executive order or legislative fiat, whatever it takes, it has to be done. Because, we're all children of God. And to not have that kind of empathy and compassion, the kind Joe Biden shows every day, if you're governor of Florida, for the citizens of our state of 22 million people, you shouldn't be in the office. It's wrong. It's wrong.
Do you believe Ron DeSantis is an uncaring individual?
Sure looks like it. It pains me to say that. I would never want any governor of Florida to be an uncaring person. But, don't judge him by his words, judge him by his actions. He's not taking the money for those 800,000 poor people, and it's offered by the federal government that I work in right now. We just sent him $3.5 billion to do it again, and he's not doing it.
Ron DeSantis, for all of the things that you say he's gotten wrong and has shown himself to have failed the people of Florida, he remains popular in the state of Florida. His poll numbers are good, and I don't know any Democrat who believes that it'll be easy. Actually, I think any Democrat coming out of the primary, whether it's you or any of the other possible candidates, will be considered the underdog in this race. So again, how do you explain Ron DeSantis' popularity if what he's doing is so bad?
Well, I don't know that he is that popular. Neither do you. I mean, I haven't seen many polls lately that are accurate, not since 2016. Point one. Point two is, they play the game because nobody knows who's really going to win. And the only way you can know is to have the game played. I mean, look, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. You probably like the Miami Dolphins, and that's great. So when they went into the Super Bowl, nobody thought they were going to win either. They were the, quote you, underdog. And I agree, they were. Guess who won? Tampa Bay beat Kansas City. Charlie Crist can beat Ron DeSantis. But we won't know unless we play the game. And I'm looking forward to it.
Why do you believe that you're better to take on Ron DeSantis than, say, either Nikki Fried or Val Demings?
Look, I'm not trying to say who's better or who's worse or whatever. We are just giving an option to the people of Florida. It's their choice. They're the ones who are empowered to make this decision, not me, not you. Well, you get to vote. I do too, actually. But really, in seriousness, it's the people of Florida. I'm not here to knock anybody down. I'm here to offer the people a choice.